Welcome back to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, today at Branston Golf and Country Club. Today's video is going to be about the punch shot. I'm going to give you 3 really simple tips to make sure you nail that punch shot into the wind next time you're facing those tough conditions. Stay tuned to find out more. As mentioned, today's video is going to be about the punch shot. So I'm going to give you 3 keys at setup and during the swing that are really going to help you hit that low boring ball flight when you're into the wind. So we've had actually quite a few days of high winds, which is why you might see a bit of debris around. The greenkeepers are doing their utmost, but we've had such high wind conditions. And obviously coming into that winter period now, I'm thinking about, can we flight that ball lower when we are into the wind and try and chase the ball down there? So I'm talking about a tee shot here, but this obviously could be and is relevant if we're talking about a second shot or even a third shot into a par 5, again, when we're trying to keep that ball flight low. So I'm talking about a tee shot initially, and I'm going to be using my driving 3-iron here. So I carry this, which for me is about a 220 yard club, and then I carry a hybrid club that's about 235, but my hybrid club flights it higher than this. So if I want to hit it low, I'll think about the club choice as well. Make sure you've got a couple of options in there. You know, you want something that can flight a little higher in the long game and something that can keep it a little bit lower as well. So that's why I carry the driving iron for the lower ball flight and the hybrid for the higher ball flight. So think about club choices potentially there as well. So I've got this on a little tee because I'm hitting a tee shot. I would always recommend, if you get a chance to tee the ball up, do it. It makes it easier. So give yourself a perfect lie 18 times around. I have teed it up, even though I'm hitting a long iron and I'm trying to drive it low. I've only just got it off the floor, but it's enough that now I'm going to get that ball contact that I really want to see. So the 3 key points, let's talk through them. The first thing is quite a simple one, and it's ball position, you may have guessed. So we want to move that ball a little bit further back in our stance to make sure that our sternum stays ahead of the golf ball. There's no point in moving the ball back in our stance and then tilting back away from the target. The idea is that we've moved the ball further back in our stance towards our trail foot to make sure our sternum is ahead. How much so depends on how low you want to hit it. So the further back you move it and the more forward your sternum is, the lower you should be hitting that golf ball. So we're taking some loft off the golf club. So ball position is definitely a key point. Move that ball further back in your stance when you want to lower that ball flight into the wind. The second thing and the second point I want you to do is actually grip lower down the handle. So by gripping lower down the handle, you've shortened the club. Shortening the club takes off a little bit of speed. By taking off a little bit of speed, we take off some spin as well. So we want to lower the spin rate when we're into the wind. The other thing that gripping lower does is it means I will tilt a little bit more forwards from my hips. So my shoulders work a little bit more up and down than horizontally. Now, of course, they're always working between the two. We're not making a baseball movement and we're not making a vertical steep thing here. But if we go lower down the handle to tilt a little bit more, our shoulders will work a little bit more on a steep vertical axis than they would have done ordinarily gripping at the top of the handle. So point number 1 was ball position. Point number 2 is where to grip it on the golf club. Lowering down the handle takes off that little bit of speed, can take off that bit of spin, but also gets you tilting a little bit more from your hips. And the third thing, and this is really more of the golf swing, so this is what I want you to do once you've got that setup position, is I want you to make what feels more like a 3/4 action on the way back and more of a sawn off finish position. So we're trying to get the feeling that our handle of the golf club is leading the club head itself. Obviously what we don't want to see is any of this. So there's no point in moving the ball back sternum forwards if then I throw away that angle or start tilting back through impact. So we've got to make sure our sternum is staying forwards and my handle is leading the golf club. So I'll rehearse the movement and feel very sawn off. Rather than releasing this angle, I'm going to feel like I'm holding the angle with my club lower than my hands. Of course, it's not going to finish here. We are going to finish up here somewhere, but it's going to feel a much more sawn off finish position than it will do on my full one here where I've released it a little bit more. I'm trying to create that or keep that lag that little bit longer so my handle is leading the golf club, and that's why this is going to help. So gripping lower, ball back, more of a 3/4 action, and the feeling of a very sawn off finish position as if I'm trying to keep my hands more ahead of the golf club. Let's see if I can put those three things together. But you'll think I'm aiming at that bunker, but it's a little bit out of reach with this club, so it should come up just short, which is why I'm aiming down there. Ball back in my stance. Sternum is ahead of the golf ball. I've gripped lower down the handle to tilt a little bit further, and I'm just going to make a very sawn off swing. So you will see a little bit of cut on that one. I can hit better than that one, but I got ball turf contact there. It's a really low ball flight. You'll have seen from this angle here that it was a very sawn off finish position. Cut down a little bit more. Let's do one more again here. So ball back, sternum ahead, gripping lower and more of a sawn off swing. There we go. It's a really low chasing ball flight out there towards that bunker. That was a little bit straighter, and that's running a lot. It's got just short of that bunker out there. Exactly where I wanted to do. It's lost me carry distance. A full shot would definitely fly further, but this is landing shorter and rolling more. And we're talking about a ball flight where we're into the wind and really trying to keep that ball flight down. I know if you can take those three key points to the golf course when you need to keep the ball lower, and this can be relevant with any golf club in the bag there, it's really going to help you control that ball flight and ultimately score lower. If you did enjoy the content video, make sure you give us a thumbs up and do subscribe to the channel as well to make sure you don't miss out on any content and show your support for the TruGolf Academy channel of mine. Thanks guys, we'll see you soon.